Alright, so some of this will be review from one of the Excel basics videos. However, I'm going to go over it again anyways because it is important to section 3.3. So, in this section we're going to be finding the range, standard deviation, the variance, your mean, coefficient variation. You're going to be using the range rule of thumb. You can find the minimum usual and maximum usual values. So, as previously explained, the range is the maximum value minus the minimum value. So you can just do max of column A, and we're just going to use column A for right now, minus the minimum of column A. Alright, and just hit enter when you're done. Then standard deviation again is equals STDDV, and don't forget how important it is to use the equal sign. Just column A again, and you're done. So your variance is standard deviation squared. So you could do equals standard deviation to the second. You just use the caret for any time you're taking a number to the power. So I could do to the 6th, I could do to the 7th here, but because variance is standard deviation squared, all I need to do is hit the 2 after the caret, and there's your variance. So your mean is just the average. You can also do this as the sum of all of the data points divided by the count of all the data points, but we'll do the average. And just click your column again and hit enter. So your coefficient variation actually has a formula, which I have right here. So your coefficient variation is equal to the standard deviation divided by the number of data sets you have. So like, I think there's 81 in this set of data. Let's see, no, there's 80. But in all reality, nobody wants to sit here and count them, so there is a function that you can use to find that, and then all of that times 100. So we're actually going to do this in one cell. So it's going to be equals, open your parentheses, and we want the standard deviation. We've already found it, so it's nice because we can just click that cell, and we don't have to do any of the work again. We don't have to retype the formula or anything like that. And it's standard deviation divided by, so backslash the count of how many data points there are. So just type in count, open your parentheses, click your data set, and just close it twice, so that way our entire first part of the formula is done. And we multiply that all by 100, so you just do the asterisk 100. And there is our coefficient variation, or coefficient variance, depends on the book or your professor or teacher as to what they call it. So the range rule of thumb is just, does the range accurately predict what the standard deviation is? So all you have to do for this is do the range divided by 4. So we can do equal, find our range, so we can just click the cell with our range in it, backslash 4. All you have to do. And in all reality, it's kind of pretty close. The range rule of thumb says the standard deviation should be about 59, and in reality it's about 55 if we round up. So it's not that far off, it's not super close, but it's not far away either. So our minimum usual values is the mean of our data set minus 2 times the standard deviation, and we can also find the maximum by doing the opposite of that. Instead of subtraction, we would be doing addition. So again, we've already calculated the mean, so we can just click the cell with the mean in it, minus 2 times the standard deviation, which we've also already found, so we can just click that cell, and that's it. We don't have to do anything else. So it's super nice, and we're done. So then the maximum usual is the opposite of the minimum usual, meaning that we're doing addition. So we're going to do equals mean, which we've already found, plus 2 times the standard deviation, which again we've already found, and just hit enter. And now we have our minimum and maximum usual value. So if you have a question that says, like, if you have 400.672, is that a usual value? The answer would be yes, because that would fall between 314 and 533. So the really cool thing about this all is that if I've already set it up, and because I've set it up with the cell blocks, I can actually take this, and if I copy set B and paste it into set A, it changes it for me. And I now don't have to do anything. I just have to plug in the data sets. And that is it, which is super nice, so that way I can just do my homework, and I'm just taking the numbers that my homework problems give me, can open up in Excel, drop it into this file that I've made, and it'll just calculate it for me over and over and over again.